let's now get back to a discussion we are having about South Sudan at 4. Is it really worth it that we should be celebrating independence of South Sudan 4 years after they seceded, or after the country seceded from the north? Mabior Garang. Do I call you Captain Mabior Garang?
I'm no longer in the army, so
You're no longer in the army.
Yes, Mr. Mabior.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to start by taking you to a history of South Sudan that was actually founded by the late Dr. John Garang, who happens to be your father. How would you describe his struggles to form the current South Sudan?
I would describe them as misunderstood, because something happened in South Sudan where the argument became unity versus secession. And Dr. John Garang is always painted in the context of he wanted the unity of the Sudan. But that is not really an accurate description. And in this also is part of why South Sudan is in the crisis that it's in, because of the lack of understanding of this vision, which he called the vision of New Sudan. And this vision was about managing diversity. And the independence of the South is a popular will of the people. So it has nothing to do with the opinion of Dr. John Garang. His opinion was that this would be the independence of the South, or the unity of the country, would be determined through the popular will of the people. So it's not something that you need to go and shout all over the world that we want independence, we want independence. What you need to fight for is the mechanisms by which you get this independence. And the vision of the New Sudan still applies to the diversity of South Sudan. So when you get an independent South Sudan and then you call the vision of the New Sudan those things of John Garang of the past, the country is not united, we are now a separate South Sudan, we don't need that vision, and you throw away a vision of managing diversity, then what will end up happening? The same formula of the old Sudan, where one community imposes their cultural aspects on the rest of the diversity of the country, is what happens.
Right. As a son of the founding father, do you think that his dreams have been watered down, and what we're seeing in South Sudan is a completely different story?
Yes, it has been watered down, but it has been watered down among the political class, among the ordinary citizen that is still suffering, in some cases an even worse repressive system than the Arab occupation. They still have the ambition and the vision and the yearning to want to be free, which is what they wanted to begin with. So yes, it has been watered down among the political class that maybe did not understand and have not articulated well the vision. But among the people of South Sudan, the vision is still strong, and they still want freedom, and they still want clean water, they still want access to health care, they still want access to education, they still want to raise their families in dignity. So among the people, it's still there, but among the political leadership, it has been watered down.
Right. Among the political leadership, it has been watered down, like you say. Now, from the time that Dr. John Garang passed, second in command, I should say, was President Salva Kiir. And since that time, Mama Rebecca was interviewed recently by an international media, and she mentioned that there's not one tarmacked road in South Sudan. Can we say the outskirts of Juba? What do you make out of this? Do you think that South Sudan is in a really bad place, that they're at a point of no return?
Well, no, I don't think South Sudan is at a point of no return, because the problem is not South Sudan in terms of the ground or the people of South Sudan. The problem is a failure of leadership, and leaders come and go. Right, the current leaders who are now in Kenya, in Tanzania, in South Sudan, in Uganda, will not be here forever, and so Salva Kiir will come and go, Dr. Riek Machar will come and go, the people of South Sudan will remain there forever. So the people of South Sudan are now struggling, and out of this struggle, I do believe that we will transform the situation and turn this tragedy into an opportunity for bringing about fundamental change in the country.
Right. So we are seeing this back and forth talks in Addis. We're seeing all the East African leaders playing a role in bringing peace back to South Sudan. Between the two rivaling leaders, I'm sorry, I have to ask you this question, but where does your allegiance lie at the moment? Is it with President Salva Kiir or with Dr. Riek Machar, and why?
Well, currently I am in the camp that is opposing Salva Kiir, which is being led by Dr. Riek Machar, and I would say that I am in this camp because this is the camp in which all the people who are opposed to the current administration are, and I was in exile before the current rebellion of December 15th,
right,
when Dr. Riek Machar was still the vice president of Salva Kiir, and the former detainees were in the government of Salva Kiir. My mom was an advisor of Salva Kiir. I was already in opposition to the government, and so when this rebellion happened, it was only natural for me to join other voices of dissent that are against, because I don't believe that a divided opposition can defeat the government. So the SPLM in opposition, led by Dr. Riek Machar right now, is the vanguard of this struggle. And so I decided to put my allegiance with the people of South Sudan who are on the side of the opposition to the administration of Salva Kiir. Because we don't belong to Dr. Riek Machar, neither do the people in government belong to Salva Kiir. So I'm with the people of South Sudan who have chosen to oppose the administration of Salva Kiir.
Well, thank you so much, Mabior Garang, for speaking to us. It's such an honor having you in studio.
Thank you.
That is Mabior Garang, son to founding father of South Sudan, Dr. John Garang, who passed on. But I guess his dream still lives on, and we can only hope for the best for South Sudan.